A man who breaks a woman's trust doesn't deserve her silence. He deserves to feel the weight of her absence. And you're crying again over him. The same man who lies to your face and smiles while doing it. The same man who disappears when you need him most, then reappears like nothing happened. The man you defend to your friends, even when he's the reason you don't recognize yourself in the mirror anymore. And I have to ask you something. Why? Why are you still handing over your heart to a man who doesn't even know how to hold it? Before we go any deeper, do this for yourself. Not for me, not for the views, not for the algorithm. For you. Press that like button, like you're slamming the door shut on the version of you who keeps choosing pain. Hit subscribe, like it's the first brick in rebuilding your power. Because this isn't just a video. This is your intervention. And maybe the slap you should have gotten the first time he cheated, or the second, or the seventh. Welcome back to the channel, my love. You're not here by accident. You're here because something inside you, the part of you that's still alive under all that pain, brought you here. And today, we're not sugar-coating anything. We're not calling this heartbreak or relationship issues. We're calling it what it really is: betrayal, manipulation, emotional war. And you've been losing it with a smile on your face. He didn't just hurt you. He studied you first, learned what made you soft, found the cracks, memorized the places you give too much. He knew how kind you were, that you'd rather suffer quietly than make a scene. He knew. That's why he stayed, not because he loved you, but because he loved how much you loved him. And the more you forgave him, the less he respected you. Betrayal is not a mistake, it's a choice, and he made it, over and over. So let me say this clearly: he broke you. Now it's time to break the spell. You're not dumb, you're not weak, you were just lied to, not just by him, but by the stories you were fed your whole life. Stories that told you love is sacrifice, that real women stay, that good women forgive, that broken men just need patience. They lied to you, and you believed it, so much that you turned yourself into a full-time therapist, nurse, cheerleader, and emotional punching bag for a man who doesn't even know your favorite color. I remember a woman I worked with last year. Let's call her Sam. She gave 6 years of her life to a man who breadcrumbed her through birthdays, gaslit her over every mistake, and blamed her every time she caught him cheating. She used to say things like, "He's just going through something, and he has potential." No, he wasn't going through anything. He was going around responsibility, and his potential only worked when she was paying for everything. One day, she stopped explaining, blocked him, burned every letter she never sent, picked up her old camera, started doing photography again. 6 months later, she had a small business, new friends, and peace in her chest for the first time in years. You know what she said when he tried to come back? "I'm not angry. I'm just not interested." That's the energy. And you? You're still standing in the fire, calling it warmth, still clinging to a man who uses your love to boost his ego and your pain to sleep better at night, still shrinking so he can feel big, still calling crumbs a meal. And I need to say this as someone who loves you. Look at what you've done to yourself. You used to laugh without checking your phone. You used to walk into a room like you owned it. Now you're pacing, checking if he's online, waiting for a text like it's oxygen. You traded your glow for his games, your softness for survival, and your worth for his approval. For what? So here's your reality check. He didn't just break your heart, he made you break yourself. And now you're going to rebuild, not for him to notice, but for you to come back to life. Say it with me right now. I'm done performing. I see the truth now. Write it in the comments. Let him feel the echo. Let the universe hear it. Let you believe it, because the woman inside you is done crying. She's getting up. And what's coming next? Oh, he's not ready. You ready to see how deep the betrayal really goes? Stay with me. Don't blink. We're just getting started. Number 1, he didn't betray you by accident. He planned it. So, my dear, stop telling yourself he didn't mean to. Stop lying to yourself the way he lied to you. He knew exactly how much you loved him. That's why he used it. That's why he stayed. Not because he cared, but because he could feed off your loyalty like a parasite, sucking the life out of a generous host. It wasn't confusion. It wasn't a mistake. It was calculation. It was convenience. It was control. And you keep telling yourself fairy tales, that he's just broken, that he doesn't know how to love, that if you love him harder, longer, deeper, he'll get it one day. He won't, because he already gets it. He gets how far he can push you. He knows exactly which lie you'll believe. He knows how long you'll wait. He knows what to say when you finally break. And that's why he keeps doing it. I read a post last month on a women's forum. This girl caught her boyfriend cheating again. You know what he told her? I knew you'd forgive me anyway. Not even a fake apology, just full-blown arrogance. Why? Because she had taught him that her love was unconditional, even when he was out here unqualified to receive it. She had taught him that no matter how much he broke her, she'd be there, sweeping up the mess, so he didn't even have to pretend anymore. That's not love. That's emotional abuse, dressed in "I miss you" texts and cheap roses. Listen to me. He's not clumsy with your heart. He's not confused. He's not broken in some romantic Nicholas Sparks kind of way. He's a thief, a manipulator, a performer. He picked the lock to your trust while you were sleeping. He snuck in, took what he wanted, and left you wondering what you did wrong. And the worst part? You keep holding the door open for him to come back. You've been trained by this world, by books, by movies, by toxic women who suffered before you, to call pain love. To think he's just a man means he can't help it. You've been taught to stay, to hope, to wait, to fix. You've been lied to, not just by him, but by everything around you. They told you that being chosen is a prize, even if the man doing the choosing is handing you trauma wrapped in a smile. They told you love is about endurance, not peace. And now you don't even know what real love is supposed to feel like, because all you've ever known is war. Let me tell you what love is not. Love is not disappearing for 3 days and texting, "I've just been busy." Love is not blocking you mid-argument to cool off. Love is not lying about other women and calling you crazy when you feel your gut twist. Love is not making you cry yourself to sleep and then asking, "Why are you so emotional?" Love is not making you feel small, paranoid, unsure of your own worth. That's not love. That's manipulation. That's a game. That's how a man keeps you on a leash, close enough to feed his ego, but far enough that you never feel safe. And every time you call that love, you betray the girl inside you who just wanted something real. Let me be real with you. You don't stay because it's love. You stay because you're afraid of what it means to let go. Afraid that this is the best it gets. Afraid that no one else will love you. afraid that you'll be alone. But listen to me, and listen close. Being alone is not the worst thing that can happen to you. Being with someone who slowly kills your soul while calling it love, that's worse. That's death in slow motion. Let me say this again for the woman who's still making excuses for him in her head. A man who knows how to lie, knows how to control. He doesn't just lie once. He creates scripts. He plants doubts. He knows the rhythm: disappear, lie, cry, charm, reset, then start again. He treats your emotions like a game of chess, cold, calculated, and you keep handing him your queen every time. Why do you keep letting a liar lead you? Why do you keep believing that this next time will be different when he's already shown you exactly who he is? The pain you're in right now, it's real and it's heavy, but pain is not proof of love. Pain is a signal. It's your soul screaming, "This isn't where I belong." You keep trying to silence that scream with hope, with patience, with overgiving. But what if the scream is the beginning of your rebirth? I know it hurts to admit you've been lied to, that the man you loved is not the man you thought he was, that the dream you held was built on illusions. But what's worse, living another year in a fake story. Giving more time to someone who's already decided your pain is a price he's willing to pay for his comfort. You want to rise from this? You want to stop hurting? Then stop handing your soul to someone who uses it as a doormat. Stop calling destruction devotion. Stop giving second chances to men who never earned the first one. Rip the blindfold off. Grieve the fantasy. And then get up. I don't care if your heart is broken. Crawl if you have to. But start moving. Because the longer you stay, the deeper you sink. You think time will heal it while you're still in it? No. You're trying to heal in the same environment that broke you. And that's why it's not working. Real healing starts the moment you choose you. The second you say, "I'm not explaining myself anymore." The day you block his number, not in anger, but in clarity. The moment you look at yourself and whisper, "I deserve more than this." Say it out loud right now. I choose truth. Write it in the comments. Not for him, for you. Let the universe hear it. Let your future self hear it. Let the part of you that's still bleeding hear it. And start stitching herself back together. Because in the next section, we're about to expose the ugliest part of this cycle. Not what he's doing to you, but what you're doing to yourself in the name of love. You think he's the one breaking you? No, my love. You've been breaking yourself and calling it loyalty. Let's talk about that next. Stay right here. It's about to get even more real. Number 2. You're not in love. You're addicted to pain. So, my dear, let's stop calling this love. Let's stop dressing pain in poetry and calling it romance. Let's call it what it really is: addiction, obsession, trauma wrapped in the disguise of devotion. Because if it were truly love, you wouldn't feel sick every time he leaves you on red. You wouldn't feel like you're walking on eggshells in your own home. You wouldn't cry yourself to sleep and then wake up hoping he'll text you, "Good morning." You call it love. But love doesn't make you beg. Love doesn't make you feel small. Love doesn't make you question your worth every other day. That's not love, baby. That's emotional captivity. And the worst part? You're calling it loyalty. I spoke to a woman not long ago. Let's call her Jasmine. She looked me dead in the eyes and said, "I can't leave him. I feel like I'll die without him." And I looked right back and said, "But aren't you already dying with him?" And she broke. Right there. Because she knew. She was losing pieces of herself every day, laughing less, sleeping worse, snapping at her mum, skipping meals, doubting her own intuition. She wasn't living, she was surviving, and she called that love. That's what this world has done to women like you, made you think suffering means you're doing it right. You're not in love, you're in withdrawal. You're addicted to the chaos, the unpredictability, the little highs that follow long lows. He ghosts you for 2 days, then texts, "I miss you," and your body lights up like Christmas. You feel seen, validated, loved. But that's not love. That's trauma bonding. It's the same pattern people trapped in abusive cycles go through. The emotional roller coaster, the ups and downs, the hit of dopamine after days of silence. That's not love. That's chemical warfare on your heart. And the longer you stay, the deeper it buries you. You're starving, and you call it a feast every time he throws you crumbs. He gives you just enough attention to keep you hoping, just enough sweetness to make you forget the sting, just enough "I love you" to keep you from walking. And every time you take it, you reinforce the lie that you're not worthy of more, that you're lucky to get anything at all. And I need to tell you, that lie is poison. It is not your truth. You were raised, like so many women, to believe that love is sacrifice, that if it hurts, it's because it's deep, that if you suffer enough, you'll be rewarded with a happy ending, that being ride or die makes you special. No. What it makes you is exhausted and erased and empty. You were taught to hold on, not to be held, to forgive, not to be protected, to endure, not to be cherished. And that's why you're still here. Not because the love is real, but because the pain is familiar. You know how to handle this. You've practiced it your whole life. Shrinking, waiting, hoping, saying, "It's okay, I understand," when it's not okay and you don't. You've been trained to feel guilty for needing anything, for wanting to be chosen fully, for asking for basic respect. But let me say it straight. You're not loyal. You're lost. And I'm not saying that to shame you. I'm saying it to wake you up. Because I've been you. And I know how hard it is to admit that the love you fought for wasn't love at all. It was just a beautiful lie keeping you from healing. So here's the truth bomb, raw and loud. You're not afraid of losing him. You're afraid of facing yourself without the distraction of him. You've wrapped your identity around someone who only shows up when he feels like it. And now it's time to unwrap, to cut the cord, to break the cycle. You don't need another text from him. You don't need closure. You need clarity. And that starts with this. Say it out loud right now. This is not love. This is addiction, and I'm cutting the cord. Write it in the comments. Let your fingers make the decision your heart's been too afraid to say. Let the silence begin. Let him feel it. Let you feel it. And stay with me, because in the next section, we're going even deeper, not just into the pain, but into the sick role you've taken on, how you've been saving him while you're the one drowning. You think you're helping him grow? No, my love. You're watering dead plants, and it's time to put the hose down. Number 3, you keep saving him, but you're the one drowning. So, my dear, why are you building lifeboats for a man who keeps poking holes in yours? Why are you out here saving someone who is perfectly fine, watching you drown, as long as you're quiet about it? You keep showing up for a man who wouldn't even flinch if you disappeared tomorrow. You hand him grace, money, shelter, sex, support, and silence. And he gives you confusion, stress, and excuses. Let me say this without sugar, because you've had enough of that already. You are not his mother, his therapist, or his rehab center. You are not responsible for fixing a man who's been comfortable breaking you. You've confused compassion with self-destruction. You've called it love, but really, it's been a slow, painful sacrifice of your soul. You're working overtime in a relationship that only pays you in heartbreak. How many bills have you paid while he figured himself out? How many times have you covered the rent, bought the groceries, paid for the date, while he bought himself a new controller or disappeared for a weekend with the boys? How many nights have you stayed awake with his pain while he slept soundly, not even noticing yours? I once coached a woman, let's call her Dahlia. She worked 3 jobs while her boyfriend sat at home working on his music. No job, no ambition, no commitment. He played video games all day, and every time she asked for help or accountability, he'd say, "I'm just going through something," for 2 years. And she kept carrying them both, emotionally, financially, spiritually. Until one day, she came to me and said, "I don't even know who I am anymore." Of course she didn't. She'd buried herself so deep under his potential, she forgot she had power of her own. That's what you're doing, love. You're pouring water into a cup with a hole at the bottom, then crying because it's never full. You are the light keeping him warm, but you're freezing in the dark. And you've convinced yourself that's what love is supposed to feel like. No, love is not supposed to drain you. Love is not supposed to make you the only one fighting. Love is not supposed to feel like charity. You're not a foundation. You're not a sponsor. You're not an emotional garbage bin. You forgive things that would shatter your friends. You stay silent when your gut is screaming. You make excuses on his behalf. You hide the truth from your family. You dim your brilliance so he doesn't feel insecure. And still, you wonder why you feel like you're disappearing. Let me give it to you straight. You hand him the knife and wonder why you're bleeding. You call it sacrifice. I call it self-abandonment. You call it patience. I call it suffering in disguise. You call it loyalty. But real loyalty is mutual. If it's always you bleeding, then it's not love. It's emotional labor dressed in desperation. And stop telling yourself he doesn't see it. He sees it. He knows you'll clean up every mess. He knows you'll answer every call. He knows you'll stay even when you say you're done. That's why he never changes. You've made it too easy for him to stay the same. You don't need to be his savior. You need to be your own. He doesn't need help. He needs consequences. And you? You need healing. You need boundaries. You need rest. You need peace. You've been so busy saving him, you forgot you're the one who's drowning. So stop throwing him life jackets. Stop building him boats. Let him swim or sink on his own. You get to shore. You take off the weight. You find your breath again. Say it with me. I choose me. Write it in the comments. Let him feel the silence. Let you feel the shift. Let the universe hear you say it. And watch what happens when a woman stops saving everyone else and starts saving herself. Because in the next section, we're exposing the real game he's playing. He doesn't love you. He loves the control. And he's not afraid of losing you. He's betting you'll never leave. Let's talk about that next. Get ready. It's about to get even clearer. Number 4. He doesn't miss you. He misses control. So, my dear, let me hit you with the truth you keep avoiding. He doesn't come back because he loves you. He comes back because he lost control. That's it. That's the whole game. He doesn't miss your soul, your kindness, your beauty, your laughter. He misses having his little puppet ready to dance the second he pulls the string. You were never his queen. You were his convenience, his cushion, his safety net. And now that you're pulling away, going quiet, or maybe finally blocking him, he's spiraling. Not because he had a sudden epiphany about how amazing you are, but because he's losing his grip on the one place he could always feed his ego, you. You were the stage, and he was the performer. And now the lights are off, the curtains are closed, and the audience, you, finally walked away. Now he's desperate, not for love, for power. Let me give you a real story. A woman I worked with last year, let's call her Bree, finally blocked her toxic ex after years of cheating, gaslighting, and manipulation. She said she was done. For the first time, she didn't send a goodbye text. She didn't cry into his voicemails. She just vanished. And what did he do? He lost his mind, started emailing her from fake accounts, texting her mother, messaging her friends. Please let me explain. You'll always be mine. Nobody will love you like I do. That's not love. That's panic. Power panic. Because for men like him, your silence isn't peace, it's threat. Your healing isn't growth, it's danger. Why? Because he's no longer the center of your universe. He's no longer the king of your emotions. And he can't handle that. He's not used to you choosing yourself. Let's be real. A man doesn't miss what he loves. He misses what obeyed. He misses the version of you that said, "It's okay," after every lie. The version of you that cried but stayed, that screamed but forgave, that left, but only long enough for him to pull you back in with a half-hearted apology and the same old promises. And you keep thinking his return is a sign that he loves you. No, baby, it's a sign that his ego is starving. He doesn't want to rebuild a life with you. He wants to reset the game, reset the control, reset your boundaries until you forget you had any. Look back at the pattern. He disappears. You panic. He returns. You forgive. He acts sweet for 2 days, maybe a week. You start hoping again. Then he withdraws. Again. This isn't romance. It's emotional manipulation, a strategy, a sick loop designed to keep you spinning while he stays still. And here's the part that hurts. You've been trained to mistake this cycle for love. Because when you grow up being taught that love is sacrifice, that drama is passion, that the man who chases and pulls and breaks and returns is just a man trying to find himself, you start believing this mess is the best you'll ever get. But it's not. It's not even the bare minimum. You deserve a love that doesn't leave you to prove a point, a love that doesn't ghost you to get space, a love that doesn't punish you with silence and then feed you sugar just to reset the damage. That's not love. That's control. And control is a drug to insecure men. You were his fix, his ego boost, his fallback plan. And now that you're done, he's not mourning you. He's mourning the throne he lost when you got off your knees. So here's your permission. Stop replying. Stop explaining. Stop hoping. Stop playing dead so he feels alive. Silence is louder than begging. Silence is your power. Silence is the echo of a woman who finally realized her worth. Choose silence. Let him talk to the void. Let him miss the version of you he'll never get back. Let him scroll your page and wonder why you're glowing. Let him call and never hear a ring. Let him sit in the silence he created and choke on the emptiness. Say it out loud right now. I choose silence. Write it in the comments. Let him feel the echo. Let your healing be the loudest thing he's ever heard. And stay close, my love, because next we're going even deeper. You keep thinking he's going to change. But what if he's never been confused, just comfortable? We need to talk about the fantasy you're still holding on to, because it's not going to save you. It's going to destroy you. Get ready. Number 5. You keep hoping he'll change, but he already showed you who he is. So, my dear, how many chances are you going to give him to prove he doesn't care? 5, 6, 10. At what point will you stop calling it hope and start calling it what it is? Denial. You keep saying he's going to change. I know he will. I just need to love him a little harder. But let me ask you, how much harder do you need to love a man who's already shown you repeatedly that he doesn't love you the way you deserve? At what point do you realize that his growth is just a costume he puts on when he senses you slipping away? He's not changing. He's reloading, recharging, re-strategizing, waiting until you've calmed down enough to let him back in so he can hit repeat on the same cycle he's been running since day one. I read a post on a women's forum a while ago. This girl gave her boyfriend 6 chances. 6. She caught him cheating the first time, and he cried, swore he'd never do it again. She believed him. A month later, it happened again. He cried harder, gave her a speech about trauma and childhood and not knowing how to love. She stayed. He did it again, and again, and again. You know what she wrote in the post after the 6th time? Maybe I'm too emotional. Maybe I'm expecting too much. Let that sink in. She wasn't just betrayed, she was brainwashed. Not just by him, but by a society that told her real women stay. That strong women hold men down while they find themselves. No, no more. You keep planting seeds in cement and crying when nothing grows. You're pouring love into a man who's not a garden. He's a desert. You keep hoping the next apology is the real one, that the next promise will stick, that the next version of him will be the one who finally matches the fantasy you built in your head. But here's the truth, and I need you to feel it in your bones. He already showed you who he is. You're not waiting for a new man. You're recycling the same one and expecting a different ending. Let me say this loud. He's not broken. He's comfortable. Comfortable with your forgiveness. Comfortable with your silence. Comfortable knowing that no matter how bad it gets, you'll be there. Eyes full of tears, heart wide open, arms waiting. He doesn't have to change because you never required it. You set yourself on fire just to keep him warm, and he had the audacity to complain about the smoke. You keep rewriting the same chapter, hoping the plot will magically shift. But it won't. It can't, because he's the same character, and as long as you keep giving him the pen, he's going to keep writing a story where you lose, and he gets to play the victim. You need to wake up, love. He's not on the path to healing. He's not on the road to growth. He's just really good at pretending when he feels your energy pulling away. He doesn't want to be better. He just wants to be back in control. That's not change. That's performance. And I know why you hold on. Because you believe in potential. You believe in the version of him you wish he could be. You see the good parts, the sweet parts, the soft moments, and you hold on to those like they're promises. But here's the hard truth. Potential is not a contract, and hoping for a better version of him will keep you stuck in the worst version of yourself. Say this with me right now. Stop trying to fix a man who loves the mess he is. Write it in the comments. Let the universe hear it. Let your future self say thank you. Let him feel the absence of the woman who finally woke up. And stay with me, because in the next section, we're turning the mirror on you. You think he betrayed you? Maybe. But what about the betrayal you've been doing to yourself every time you stayed, forgave, and begged? It's time to talk about that. Because that betrayal, that one, cuts even deeper. Number 6. You betrayed yourself every time you took him back. So, my dear, forget what he did. Forget the lies, the cheating, the disappearing acts. We've talked about that. We know who he is. But now I want you to look in the mirror and ask yourself, what have you done to you? Because every time you took him back, you weren't just forgiving him, you were betraying yourself. Every time you said, it's okay, when it wasn't. Every time you stayed silent when your soul was screaming. Every time you let the pain slide because he said he'd try. You cut a piece of yourself off and handed it to a man who never even knew what to do with it. Let's talk about your sacrifices. The dreams you shelved. The job you turned down because he wasn't ready for a move. The nights you stayed up crying instead of resting. The friends you stopped seeing because he didn't like them. The family you stopped opening up to because they told you the truth you didn't want to hear. The body you gave to someone who didn't honor it. The energy you poured into trying to fix it, into over-explaining, overthinking, overcompensating. And let's not even start on the peace you've been living without. The mental torment, the walking on eggshells mornings, the waiting for a text afternoons, the crying on the bathroom floor nights. You sacrificed you for a relationship that never once sacrificed for you, and you still called it love. But it wasn't love. It was self-abandonment. I once knew a girl named Naya. She used to paint. Her art was her therapy, her joy, her voice. But her boyfriend at the time said it was a waste of time. He needed her to focus on their future. So she quit. She also stopped going out with her friends. He said they were a bad influence. She gave up a job opportunity because he didn't want to move. And when she told me she was tired, I asked her of what. She said, "I'm tired of trying to be enough." And that broke me, because she was enough. She just gave all her power to a man who convinced her she wasn't. And maybe that's you too. Maybe you've bent so much you forgot what standing tall feels like. But hear me loud and clear. You are not broken. You've just been bending for so long, you forgot how to stand. You think staying is strength. You think forgiving is loyalty. You think waiting for him to grow up is patience. No, my love, that's not strength, that's survival. And survival is not living. You want healing? Then stop hugging the thing that's hurting you. You can't heal in the same place that broke you. You can't grow in a cage. You can't fly while holding onto a man who keeps clipping your wings. Let that sink in. Yes, he hurt you. But every time you reopened the door, every time you lowered your standards, every time you swallowed your pain to keep him comfortable, you hurt you too. And this isn't about shame. This is about truth. Because shame keeps you stuck, but truth sets you free. And today is about freedom. So look at yourself, not with judgment, but with fierce love. The kind of love you've been trying to give to him. Give it to you. The girl who stayed too long, who gave too much, who forgot her worth. Look her in the eye and say it. I forgive myself for staying, but I'm done now. Write it in the comments. Not for him, not for me, for you. So the universe knows, so your heart finally hears it. So the woman buried under all that pain can finally rise. And stay close, because in the next section, we're flipping everything. You've been convinced you need him. But what if he's the one who needed you all along? Let's talk about the power you forgot you had. It's time to take it back. Number, you've been powerful this whole time. He just convinced you you weren't. So, my dear, let's shift now, not into pain, but into power. You've been powerful this whole time. He just convinced you that you weren't. He dimmed your light because it made him feel small. But don't you ever forget, you are the reason he felt like a king. Your love, your energy, your patience, your magic. It was you all along. I remember a woman who walked away from her narcissist ex after years of manipulation. She stopped explaining, blocked him, focused on herself. In 6 months, she launched her own business, started traveling, smiling, glowing. He texted her one night, "I miss you." She didn't even open it because she had risen. The best revenge isn't rage, it's reinvention. You gave him a crown, now take it back and wear it yourself. Sit in your throne. Speak like the queen you forgot you were. Your power was never lost. It was just buried under his lies. And now? Now it's your turn. Write it in the comments. I take my crown back. Let the world feel it. Let you feel it. Because in the final section, we're going for the jugular. Silence, strategy, and the shift he'll never recover from. Stay ready. Number 8. This is the day you leave him broken and sorry. So, my dear, this is the day, not tomorrow, not when he finally says sorry. Today, this is the day you stop crying, stop waiting, stop shrinking, and start rising. No more begging, no more explaining, no more one last conversation. He had enough chances, and he wasted every single one. Don't explain, don't text, just disappear from the stage he used to perform on. Let the curtain drop. Let the silence scream louder than any words ever could. Here's your final plan. Block him. Heal yourself. Rise from the ashes. Stay gone, no matter what. Because you are not here to be someone's emotional rehab. You are not here to shrink for love. You are here to expand into your highest self, to take up space, to glow so loud that the past can't even recognize you anymore. Say it out loud, right now, and mean it with your whole soul. He betrayed me. I broke the cycle. Now I build my empire. Write it in the comments. Stamp it on your life. Let the universe know you've arrived. This isn't heartbreak. This is your awakening.